Hi. Hi, I'm Mary.
And I'm Katie, and this is the Housewife Did It.
Sultry Edition, apparently.
Dying Cat Edition.
Smoker Edition.
Mm-hmm. Alright, for some reason we're gonna let Mary talk like this, so. But if you decide your ears can't handle it, we won't be that offended.
But you will miss a whole true crime episode.
Yeah. Mary's, it's gonna add suspense. Da da da. Alright, actually pop culture edition. But it is gonna be sultry, and it is going to be Dying Cat, because Mary lost her voice, obviously, but then also Mary's a teacher, so she hasn't had any days to not use her voice. Okay, she's gonna nod a lot. Only speak when spoken to, miss.
Yeah.
Alright, start with little tidbits. So, still been watching Love Island USA. There's been no confirmation about whether that couple, Carmen and Kenzo, actually knew each other prior to the show. They haven't brought it up. However, another interesting thing, so the show is split like fully boys and girls. It's like Bachelor in Paradise. They actually say like, this is the boy I'm choosing to couple up with. This is the girl I'm choosing to couple up with. Not like men and women, which I just find a little weird, but whatever. But two of the girls actually decided that they were kind of into each other, which is great. Awesome. It's 2023. But on top of this funness, one of those girls had actually fucked the other one's boy while they were in bed with a room full of people. So if you remember from Paradise, they did that one like last season, they split that 1 week where the girls go and meet new guys. So this was during like Casa Amor week. And so Cassie wasn't there to watch her mans, and her mans met a new girl and decided to just have sex with her in this public room while everyone's sleeping. So then obviously everyone knew about it, and then Cassie found out and she was pissed. But then in sweet, sweet karmic justice, Cassie and Johnny ended up liking each other. Johnny, the girl that he fucked. So it was great. It was funny. It was cute. But also Cassie ended up picking that guy anyway. So stupid. But obviously I don't know if this is like the first time something like this has happened, because I've not watched Love Island before this. And it's got like a lot of seasons, so I wouldn't be shocked if there have been other bisexual cast people. Yeah. But it was cute for the brief moment that it lasted. News has been coming out, and it seems like details are still being worked out, that Demi Lovato, Ariana Grande, and Idina Menzel have severed their working relationships with Scooter Braun recently.
And Justin Bieber.
For some reason, I thought Justin Bieber had like already stopped working with him, so, but maybe not.
No, I think that he's been like very devoted to him.
Yeah. So, interesting. I mean, I think Scooter has even, like, tweeted, like, jokes, or posted on X, like, jokes about it. So, I don't really know what he's, like, implying happened, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah. Some more Below Deck Down Under drama. Luke and Laura were replaced after being fired. Luke was replaced by Joao.
Okay.
Who has been on Below Deck Med before.
Okay.
And was pretty unlikable.
Okay.
And Laura was replaced by a new stew named Jamie. So, first of all, before Jamie even steps foot on this boat, everyone freaking hates her because she's so pretty.
Oh, okay.
Like, they're, like, passing her CV around, and they're like, "Can you believe how fucking pretty this girl is? Like, how dare she come on this boat?" And so when she gets there, they're like, she's really nice, and they're like, "We were just joking about, like, how pretty you are, and, like, how it's so unfair, blah, blah, blah." And she quickly begins, like, scoping out the men on board and kind of, like, getting an idea for if anyone's coupled up, like, what each guy is like, and she mentions that she thinks Culver is cute. Personally, I don't understand why anyone thinks Culver is cute, but she does. And she asks about him, but she's quickly told that he has a thing going with Zarina.
Mm-hmm.
However, that does not stop Jamie or Culver from making out at a bar and then having sex in a shower.
Oh, great.
Zarina is very upset and she calls Jamie a slut. I will say though, after the episodes aired, they both posted on Instagram about how much they love each other, like Zarina and Jamie, and how like both have taken like responsibilities for their actions and their words and like they've moved on. Um but back to Joelle.
Mm.
Aisha has worked with Joelle before. She was on the season of Med that he was on.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not a fan because he was very like misogynistic on that season. He made a lot of derogatory comments about Aisha being a slut. And then her and Zarina, who are roommates, Zarina also doesn't like him because she has a friend who dated Joelle and he like broke her heart.
Okay.
But after Culver sleeps with Jamie, Zarina is now romantically interested in Joelle.
Oh, God.
I will say I didn't like him on the season of Med either. I think that's pretty obvious. I wouldn't. But he is a lot different now, I think. When he came on to replace Luke, he points out that he had been engaged since the last time he was on the show and that his fiance like broke his heart and whatever, and that it's just really like done a number on him.
Mm-hmm.
He seems like a lot more supportive and emotionally mature this season, but it's causing a rift between Zarina and Aisha
Mm-hmm.
because Aisha's like, you're acting like you want to suck his dick all the time and you're not even supposed to like him.
Mm.
And like Zarina's like, no, I'm just like being nice. That's how I
Yeah.
have to act around him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's getting interesting.
Yeah. I'm glad you started that one. All right. So Rachel Leviss has changed her identity. She changed her Instagram name back to Rachel, deleted her apology to Ariana, and kind of like any remnants of like James or like anyone. Other than, of course, interview clips from her interview with Bethany. That can't go anywhere. So, that's great. All of that work convincing us that she stands by that apology, and then, whew, it's gone. But today, I hadn't listened to this, so I started listening to it today, but Ariana went on Scheana's podcast, Scheananigans, and I didn't get to finish it, but it was some interesting stuff. So, Ariana, like, confirms / just maintains the boundary that she still won't film with Sandoval. She says she has not forgiven him, which, like, I don't know what we're waiting with bated breath for. She's not going to forgive him. Like, we don't need to keep checking in and be like, what about now? Have you forgiven him now? Yeah, like, I think she's just, like, done with him. She did, Mary, you'll find this interesting because we were questioning this, but she did confirm that they had to rip out the patio at something about her. So it doesn't have a patio section anymore.
I wasn't questioning it.
Well, I think that picture that was in our group chat was something about her.
Yeah, I was very convinced it wasn't.
Oh. So they had to rip
Yeah.
it out. She said that they're like, I didn't really understand, but they're trying to turn that into like a walking street or something. So basically, city restrictions mean they had to rip the patio out, which also just like sucks if you like purchase or whatever a property
Yeah.
for the purpose of having a patio. I mean, she did say they're still going to try to figure out outdoor seating, but
It's
whatever.
pretty small inside.
Yeah. Yeah, not a lot of tables in there. She talked about her new cocktail book, Single AF Cocktails, and says that basically the recipes will follow stories from her relationship, from the breakup, from the show. And she did say some of the recipes will be kind of gross because they're about things that are kind of gross. So I guess there's going to be like comedic ones, which like there were in the original cocktail book too. Like there are some that are like random ingredients that are like after you're hungover and you want like whatever. So maybe that'll be fun. They did get into, again, we can't stop checking in with her about her living situation. So they got into her living with Tom still. She said that she actually sleeps with her door locked. She feels very comfortable in her room. Like, it's like become a little apartment, but she said like that's obviously eases her mind even further that like he can't get in her room. She did explain that when she and Tom were still together, she would have like really bad anxiety and not be able to sleep because she'd be waiting for him to come home at like all hours of the night, which I totally get. Like, if Billy is even in the other room like playing video games, I'm like laying there like unable to sleep because I'm like, when's he coming back? So yeah, if my boyfriend was out clubbing till like 3 a.m., like it'd be pretty hard to fall asleep. So she said like,
With all my friends.
yeah, like yeah, and you already like don't trust him as much as you should probably, but yeah, I mean, she said like that's been nice. Like she has no anxiety going to bed. It doesn't matter if and when he comes home. Her door is locked, so not something she has to worry about anymore. I don't think I knew this, but she says that she was the one who ultimately told production about the affair the day after she found out, which I think like is maybe in response to like all of Raquel's or Rachel's claims that like this was just for ratings, it was to save the show, and Ariana said like I did not have any reason to want to save the show with my life blowing up, like that's not what I intended for this. But I also think it goes back to that idea that like she had to act quickly, like or before he could convince her to like be on his side or convince her that he could change. Like she said like I had to tell everyone immediately so that like I couldn't go back on it. So I almost feel like she probably immediately told production because she's like, okay, once I've told them this, like there's no taking it back. So that's all I got for that. On to the Bachelorette Finale. Thumbs up for Mary. It was so every time that you would mention that you're pretty sure Charity doesn't pick Dotun in the end, I kept like trying to ignore you and like not ask too many follow-up questions because I didn't want to know what you knew. But also, I just believed you. So I was like, oh, I guess she, like, I would tell Billy, like, she doesn't pick Dotun. And he's like, how do you know that? I'm like, because Mary said it. And so now I need to know, like, why from the very beginning have you been so convinced that she wasn't going to pick him?
I had seen a spoiler, obviously an incorrect one, that she picked Joey.
Okay.
And I don't know if that, like, made me watch it in a certain frame of mind. But after I heard that, I just, like, genuinely thought she seemed more into him than anyone.
Yeah, I agree.
I did start thinking Dotun was, like, a possibility more during hometowns. But I had just, like, already convinced myself that Joey was who she was gonna pick.
Yeah.
And, like, that she just had more of a connection with Joey. I, like, again, I don't know if it's because of, like, me thinking that was what was gonna happen, but I really did feel like she seemed to like him more.
Yeah, I think most people did. Um, so we'll go back to the beginning. Oh. Of the episode. As we suspected and kind of feared, Charity lets Aaron go at the rose ceremony. At least she did it by pulling him, though, instead of just, like, going, like, giving out the roses and, like, not giving him one again. But, yeah. I mean, it was really kind of sad to watch him, like, lose all hope all over again. But I think we all could have seen that coming. Then Charity's family gets to meet Joey and Dotun. They love Joey, of course. And then, because of how much they love Joey, her mother is a little skeptical of, not like skeptical of Dotun necessarily, just of like how Charity's connection with him compares to her connection with Joey. Charity starts asking her mom to like straight up tell her what she thought of the guys. And like, I'm guessing she wanted to hear like who her mom liked better of the two guys. But her mom does not want to tell her, and basically tells Charity, like, it's your decision. I don't want to sway your decision in any way. Like, if this is the person you're going to... And, like, this is fair. When Charity said, I don't know, she said, then maybe you don't need to be doing this. Like, she was just kind of saying, like, if you're not sure of who you're going to get engaged to, then, like, I can't help you. I did find it a little weird. Charity, like, takes her off camera, which kind of confused me because... maybe there were conversations we didn't see, or like she obviously knows her mom better than I do. But the vibe I was getting was not that her mom didn't want to say it on camera. It was that her mom didn't want to tell her who to pick. Like, I don't know that the camera was the part that was the problem. I think she just doesn't want to.
She really wanted her mom to tell her, though.
I know. And I talked to our mom after, and she was like, I would literally never answer that. Like, I would have said the same thing. Like, it's up to you.
Yeah. Yeah, Sammy was, like, asking me about this part because he, like, I think he'd been out of the room when it happened, and so he was confused when he came back and was asking me what was going on. And he thought that she was asking her mom who her mom thought Charity liked better.
Mm-hmm.
Like, which one do I seem to like better, is what he thought she was asking.
Which they had kind of already answered.
Yeah.
When they said, like, you're glowing.
Yeah. I personally cannot come up with a single thought or make a decision independently a lot of the time. So I kind of understand, like, her wanting to get input. And I was telling him, I think, like, maybe her idea was, like, I need to know which one my family prefers because that's going to be important because this person is going to join my family.
Yeah.
It needs to be someone they mess with. But I think that, like, her anxiety of not being able to decide was just, like, bubbling up. And then we have that factor of, like, her admitting to Joey at one point that she is such a people pleaser.
Yeah.
And, like, wanting to, like, confirm that she's making the right choice. I think it was just a lot of anxiety that, like, caused her to ask her mom so many times.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I was like, honestly, I think I would be doing the same thing.
Yeah. And I think, like, I think their points were very fair. Like, she did seem more excited with Joey. But I think, like, then she made the point, Joey was first. I was excited, and then I got nervous. Plus, you could consider if she already thought Dotun was who she was going to pick, she may just be more on edge because she really wants you to like him. But I also think I'm kind of glad they didn't tell her because now I feel, like, more confident with her choice in Dotun, that it was like if they had told her they liked Joey better and then she had picked Joey, I think I always would have wondered, like, was that just because her mom liked him better, you know? And like you said, because she says she's a people pleaser, like, I actually think it was probably a good call to be like, I'm not going to answer that for you, like, because I'm afraid you're going to take my answer and run with it.
We don't need any more of Peter Webb's moms.
Why is she still at the finale?
Peter Weber's mom. I swear to God.
I was like why does this woman have a permanent seat?
She's going to yell at someone for no fucking reason.
Yeah. Mom was like, I thought that woman looked familiar, but I thought maybe she was Joey's mom. I'm like, no. From like 4 fucking seasons back, they're still having this woman.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
And they always like
Peter wasn't even there.
Her face
I know.
And the little reaction cam.
Yeah. So back at the live show, Jesse Palmer keeps telling us that someone in the audience will have a chance to date the next Bachelor, but that girl doesn't know yet that it's her, and we don't know yet who the Bachelor is at the time. She's just like annoying. I just hate when he's like, the first time this has ever happened. Nah, nah, nah. Okay, cool. So then back to not live show. Joey's feeling super confident that he's going to get engaged. But then he's the first one out of the limo and the whole live audience goes, oh! And literally when he got out of that car, I thought, damn, maybe they finally decided to try this again, where the person that comes
really
first.
That influential.
No, I seriously was like, Mary said it's not Dotton. So I guess for the first time, for only the second time in Bachelor Nation history, they've decided to do that train wreck thing again, where they let the first person out of the car be the one to propose. And Billy always asks, like, now why don't they do that again? And I'm like, Billy, because then the person that's engaged has to stand there and watch her dump someone else. But I seriously thought, like, I was like, they're going to do it. They're really trying to throw us off. It's still Joey. No, it was not Joey.
I always kind of thought maybe they just, like, film it randomly.
Yeah.
But then, like, when they put the show together, they put that one first. But
and they totally could.
Where's the engaged person go?
But they totally could, like, have Joey step out and then show him proposing and then do Dotton, but it didn't actually happen in that order, you know? Like, we wouldn't need to know. But.
Yeah. And then it is announced that the next Bachelor is
a white man. No.
So, how do you feel about Joey as the Bachelor?
I like, because I think, like we said last time, the call to Bachelor Nation production and stuff is just to pay attention to who the audience likes. And people like Joey. Yeah. People really like Joey. And I think I assumed that Joey would not be the Bachelor because I assumed Joey would be her fiance. But I think it's a fair choice. No one really cares for Aaron. Yeah. I don't think Xavier did not end on a good note. And so I think that, like kind of like we were saying, picking a man of color from this season may have been a bit of a stretch when you've got such a perfect option in Joey. So I like him.
Yeah, and I agree it was annoying, like, how Jesse Palmer was, like, up our asses about the surprise. Mm-hmm. But I do think that, like, kind of hyped people up a little more. Because, like, I really like the girl that got picked to go on the show. And, like, I think that, I don't know. I don't like when they do those, like, he gets to meet, like, 5 girls after the final rose or whatever. So I liked this better than that.
Yeah. I liked her.
And it was, like, something to look forward to in this season. And the envelope. I want to know what's in the fucking envelope.
Yeah. Interesting. We're cutting to a real life moment that happened after the finale. But Brayden went and got braids in his hair.
Mm-hmm. Not Pippi Longstocking braids.
No.
No.
Which I just, like, does he, like, want to be canceled? Like, what is the point?
Right.
And, like, he literally, the caption was, like, my coworker told me their cousin does braids. Did your coworker mean for you? No. They meant my cousin does braids for different people than you. They were just telling you. Stop.
Yeah. Like, in 2023, there's literally no way that you don't know that that's problematic, that you don't know what cultural appropriation is. Like, it feels like surely he has to want to be pissing people off.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the final rose, Jesse Palmer tries to make us think that Brayden is with Rachel,
Mm-hmm.
and I do not appreciate that
No.
because I really like Rachel.
Yeah.
And I've said I think that Brayden will do better on Paradise, but I also think that Rachel, and like especially having been the Bachelorette, is such a no bullshit person.
Yeah.
I really feel like there's no way that they could have any longevity,
Yeah.
and like her not like see through his bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, I also don't. Obviously, if you don't understand the implications of getting the braids in general, then you don't understand the implications of this next part. But, like, I do not understand how you do not understand the implication that you just dated a dark chocolate, beautiful black lady on The Bachelorette, on public television, and you're just like, and the day after she gets engaged and her season ends, you're not getting enough attention anymore, and you decide to do that. Like, that's just so annoying.
I kind of like wondered about him
Being a racist?
around the time that he was like, huh?
Like being a racist? Or like being problematic?
Yeah, like when he was talking about like being Will Smith
Mm-hmm.
or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
the way he said it, like, sounded like he was trying to use like
Yeah.
African American vernacular English,
Yeah.
and like he like had this accent that he doesn't normally have,
Yeah.
and I was like, you don't talk like that.
Yeah. Someone had actually asked me if he, like, did speak like that typically, and I was like, I don't think so. And I think maybe he, like, knew better than to do that in front of Charity, but it, like, just came out in, like, the diary room parts. But it's like, dude, like, I don't understand. I don't.
Yeah.
Like, you think, even if you did end up with someone on Paradise, yo, they gotta be gone now. You're about to take them down with you?
Like, I think after Becca, Kufrin, and Garrett,
Mm-hmm.
is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's literally no way I think anyone in Bachelor Nation would be caught dead sticking around a problematic person.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I'm surprised Gabby was with Eric as long as she was.
Yeah.
Okay, so I did think the proposal and the ending with Dotton was so cute, so wholesome, so beautiful. It did make me really love them, which, like, I loved him the whole time, but I don't think I was convinced of them. I think they seemed so, like, yeah, they're great, but, like, I don't see, like, intense love there. But I think at the end I was like, man, they love each other.
I agree. I like them.
Yeah. So then, also cute, Dotton gets to tell Charity that she's going to be on Dancing with the Stars, which they did kind of, like, say really fast. Like, all of a sudden I was like, did he just say what I think he said? But maybe I'll watch Dancing with the Stars this season then.
Yeah. Because Ariana will also be on it.
Mm-hmm.
And they finally replaced Tyra Banks, which I am so thankful for, because she was getting on my last fucking nerve.
Yeah.
So Julian Huff is the new co-host.
Nice.
I think it'll definitely be better.
Mm-hmm. I had also said that I would not watch The Bachelor ever again. And then they do this shit. And I like Joey. And I want to see...
Yeah, I think Joey's going to be a good Bachelor.
I want to see a short king. Like I do.
I
But
know you do.
I also think when they brought the girl from the audience out, you got to kind of see what kind of Bachelor he was going to be. And he was, like, so comforting to her. and like his answers didn't seem like rehearsed, but they still felt like intelligent and like articulated well, but it wasn't like he had planned anything. And like, I don't know, he just seems like he's gonna be pretty natural at this, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be good.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be, dare I say, the best Bachelor we've had in a while.
Mm-hmm. The bar's on the floor, but yeah. Weirdly, they don't listen. They don't listen to us as a fan base. They decided Paradise and The Golden Bachelor should premiere on the same day, which I'm guessing means they'll be same day every week.
They will. They'll be back to back.
So is Paradise going to be at fucking 9, 10 every time?
I actually think that The Golden Bachelor comes on after.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll take that because I don't want to watch that.
They said, fuck them early birds.
Yeah, I hate The Golden Bachelor. Or I don't hate it, I don't know. But I don't plan to watch it, so fuck them.
Yeah, I'm not super mad about the schedule, though, because I kind of like having, like, Claim to Fame and Bachelorette back-to-back.
Yeah.
Because I can just, like, keep my TV on one channel.
Yeah, I think people have just talked in recent years about, like, fatigue with Bachelor Nation shows. That it's, like, one ends and one immediately starts again, and, like, we just never stop. And so it's, like, weird that they decided, like, ooh, you know what would be even better? We'll just play 2 at one time. That won't make people tired of us at all. All right. Oh, resituating.
Okay, in a crime against humanity, Katie has decided to let me do the Big Brother section.
I did catch up, so I can contribute now. We had some family issues. I couldn't watch.
Yeah. I meant to mention this like last week or the week before and I forgot, but at the first elimination ceremony, we see like a little bit of a mishap when Julie tells Matt to go back to the living room and he's just like sitting there.
Yeah.
And like people on like Twitter were saying like did they not realize that they had a deaf contestant? Like he obviously can't fucking hear her say go back to the living room. And so it did like make me wonder like what accommodations they put in place for a deaf house guest. And like there was that one challenge where something was like said to them in headphones and he was in it.
Yeah,
and he was, like,
I remember
playing
that.
But I was like, what accommodations are in place for him in these situations where he needs to be able to hear someone because he cannot lip read them. Like he can't see them well enough for it. Because like I don't think Julie's like face is what they see. I think it's like her on stage. I don't know. I've never been in Big Brother, so maybe I'm wrong. But
yeah,
I just wonder like how that works.
Yeah, I
for
wonder
him and like how it went wrong like the first week. Like they didn't even think about it.
Yeah. I wondered that too, and I do think like they can see Julie because they always tell her how great she looks, but you're right, like I don't know how close the camera is to her lips. Like is it a full body cam? Right. Like it's probably not the most effective way to read lips. And I think what happened that first week was she just said, like he told her who he wanted to evict, and then she just said thank you like she normally does. And I think like if you get up, you can't read her lips anymore. So you don't want to leave and like lose sight.
Right.
If she's about to say something else. So now she has started fully saying, like, you may now return to the living room. And she doesn't say that to other people. So, like, I guess that's the accommodation now. But it's like, how easy would it be to do something like a light switch that, like, turns red when you're done? Or green when you're done?
Or even, like, tell Julie to give him a thumbs up.
Yeah, or, like, when I remember in that comp.
He knows what the signal is.
Right. And when they did that comp with the headphones, I think I thought then, like, surely they have a TV screen up. Or, like, like subtitles somewhere. Like surely,
an interpreter we can't see.
Yeah, and, like, they may, but it seems if you don't even have the diary room figured out, have you made any accommodations for competitions? Because it's like, sure, when he messed up in the diary room, all that messes up is the timeline of your live show. So who fucking cares? But if he can't even win comps because you're not making accommodations, like, that's a problem.
So, like, that was my thought with, like, the headphones one. Was, like, I was thinking about, I think, like, one of the seasons that Christmas was on when she broke her leg.
Yeah.
And they would tell her, like, you can't do this competition, basically. Like, there's literally no way for us to accommodate it for you. And I was like, that's, like, one thing, because, like, she unexpectedly broke her leg on the show.
Yes.
But, like, casting the first Deaf House guest, like, you can't, he can't play in the competitions because of that. So, like, you have to have something in place.
Yeah.
That, like, makes the game as playable for him as everyone else.
Right. And it's like, you chose to cast him. Like, you should have known, like, we need to be prepared for this. I almost wonder, and not at all to blame him, but I almost wonder, because when he, like, started, he said, like, I'm not worried about it because I can read lips so well. So I almost wonder if he, like, downplayed, like, I'm not worried, like, I'll be fine. And they, like, took that and ran with it. And they're like, oh, we don't need to make accommodations for him. But it's like, that's not what he meant. He meant, like, he's not that worried about not being able to hear people in the house. But, like, you still have to help him to have even a chance at winning.
Yeah. Now, on Big Brother this week, Felicia won HOH, and she, like, starts setting the plan in motion to backdoor Heisem. She and Suri said exactly what you had said last week, that he asks and answers his own questions, which, like, part of me feels like is probably normal for him as a psychiatrist. Like, he probably does answer questions for people, like, as a necessary part of his job, you know?
Yeah.
I kind of get why he does it, but...
Yeah, I almost feel like that makes me disagree more. Like, as a psychiatrist, you have to know, like, how to not feed people answers. And so, like, if he's doing therapy or psychiatry like that, then, like, that's manipulative. So it almost causes me concern for his practice that he does that. Like, he's like, and how do we feel, guys, when he's talking to his alliance? And then he's like, we feel great. And it's like, good God, I hope he's not saying that to patients. Like, do you feel depressed today? Yes, you do.
We also see him start answering questions that no one asked.
Yeah.
AKA bossing everyone around without even, like, trying to be subtle about it. So Cam and Jag go up on the block, and both of them are pawns. They both know that they are pawns. And it seems like everyone in the house kind of knows that the plan is to backdoor Heisem, except for Red. And Cam tells Red about it because they are besties.
Yeah.
Which I love.
Yeah.
But I don't really get why Red was left out, especially when Cam was used as a pawn, because I feel like they're pretty obviously close.
Yeah.
And I feel like he would take saving Cam over being loyal to Heisem.
Yeah.
And on top of that, it really, like, rubbed him the wrong way to find out about the plan after the fact. So I feel like in the long run, it would have just been better for Felicia's game to not lie to him, and also, like, to not single him out as, like, the only one she did lie to.
Yeah.
I don't really get why him. I don't feel like he's, like, more loyal to Heisem than others. I don't really know.
Yeah. Yeah, they were just saying, like, because he's so loyal to the professors that he would tell Heisem. But like, that's your perception, is that he's loyal to the professors. He probably also thinks y'all are loyal to the professors because you haven't told him otherwise. But I feel like as long as you say to him, everyone is already in on this plan. This is what everyone wants. Yeah. This is the plan. He wasn't going to say no. He wasn't going to argue. Right. And I think, like, it puts... Yeah, like you were saying, it puts Felicia's game at risk, because now if Red wins any power and has to put someone up, yeah, the whole house kept him out of the secret, but it was Felicia's HOH. So, like, that's going to be the obvious person.
And he tried to ask her about it after he found out, and she lied to him again.
Yeah. So it just like makes you know, like, I'm not the most important person in this alliance, you know?
Yeah. I definitely think that was unwise. Jag wins POV and takes himself off the block. This is like my favorite part because Heisem mentions several times how safe he feels with Felicia in power. And then Felicia directly quotes Heisem and says, "Why go after a knight when you can go after a king?" And she puts him on the block as the replacement nominee. He obviously didn't say this about himself. He was talking about getting Matt out. He was saying that he told Felicia that she had to put Matt up as the replacement because he is the biggest threat. And she's like, "Oh yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Yes, king, whatever you say." Heisem is obviously shocked to go up, but he says he can bounce back. People have bounced back from worse in Big Brother.
He should have thrown a funeral.
Yeah.
Heisem's funeral.
I mean, he really set himself up for one with his, like, vote to keep me speech at elimination night.
Yeah. Yo, Izzy was so relentless, but, like, good at articulating how he had, like, made them all feel. Like, she was like, I'm not playing your game. Like, I'm not going to work with someone who's demanding things of me. I'm obsessed with her. She's killing it.
I love her.
Yeah. And then when Heisem said to her, also, as soon as he got put up, suddenly he starts speaking in a whisper. And he says to Izzy, "I guess I made a mistake." And I just, like, really wish Riley had been in that room to go, like, "I guess you miscalculated." Because he kept telling her, like, "You don't even worry. It was just a miscalculation, but you have to go home now."
Yeah.
Oof.
Sorry. I also, like, I started getting flashbacks to Claim to Fame last week. I was like, why is he telling Felicia who to put on the block in the fucking kitchen?
Yeah. I know.
Stop telling people.
And I actually was kind of...
your game plan in public.
I was kind of mad. And I didn't, like, know if I saw what I thought I saw. But I am pretty sure that when he was saying that to Felicia, Matt was in the room, but, like, back turned. So I almost think, like, because Matt cannot hear him, he's straight... I think I saw Matt at least, like, walk through. And I'm like, you were straight up talking about putting this man up right in front of him? Like, that is cruel. But also, I could be wrong, and I didn't go dissecting videos to see if that's what I saw, but I kind of thought it was.
On Thursday, Julie opens, as she often does, by telling us that a lot has happened in the last 24 hours. And we do see an attempt to switch the vote to keep Heisem. It doesn't work, though, and he is voted out unanimously. Before I put... this is not in my notes, but Sammy, sweet Sammy, he said, "Oh, I get why he wears a bandana all the time now. He just said he's a doctor." And that's, like, probably, like, part of his, like, normal, like, routine. Like, when he's, like, doing surgeries, they wear, like, bandana caps. Yeah. And I was like, he's a psychiatrist.
He's not a surgeon.
And he was like, well, he didn't say what kind of doctor, so I didn't know.
He also didn't tell anyone in the house who's a doctor, so...
Like, okay, Sammy. I do want your opinion on this part, though. Sammy said he felt like he sounded very different in his interview with Julie. Like, he said, like, in the house, he was, like, very, like we said, like, bossy. And he said, like, he had a deeper tone of voice, he felt like. And then in the interview with Julie, his voice gets higher. He's a lot lighter. Like, do you think he seemed different? Do you think if he did that it was, like, some kind of strategy, like, to not be as, like, feminine, I guess?
Yeah. I definitely think he sounded different. So, like, you think the kind of, like, tough, bossy part would have been the strategy?
I don't really know. I guess because of, like, the personality he was putting off in the house of, like, telling everyone what to do and, like, making himself the leader of his alliance, like, I feel like he was talking like he thought a leader should talk,
Yeah, probably.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. I do think, like, mostly to me it just read as, like, I'm in front of a live audience. I want to be really likable. But it did feel... It did feel, to your point, very, like, code switchy. Like, now he's showing a little bit more of, like, a feminine burlesque-y personality. Like, because we know he's, like, a burlesque dancer. And he kind of had talked about how he was going to be both. He was going to be, like, smart in the game and be, like, fun and, like, the gay guy and, like, all of that. And so I think... I don't know... necessarily that either is, like, not him. I think obviously when you have two different lives, like, two very different, like, things you do in your life, like, that just happens naturally. But it did seem to me that almost, like, that's the more likable personality for the audience. So, like, why wouldn't I be, like, fun, burlesque, Heisem, you know?
Can you imagine if I did this podcast in, like, the voice I teach in?
Yeah, right? Like, people always talk about code switching like it's either, like, a fake thing or, like, a racial specific thing, and, like, everyone does it. Like, you have to be professional in some spaces and not in others. So I think where he failed, though, is that it would have been better in the house to be the likable, fun, burlesque guy than to be the psychiatrist. And I think he was a little too much...
Especially when they don't know you're a psychiatrist.
Right. He was a little too much of the calling the shots guy, and, like, that's not what people want. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Any thoughts? Anything else?
No, I need to find... Now that I'm off of Twitter, I need to find, like, the Big Brother Live update side of Threads so that I can...
It's very hard. This is my problem with Threads, is that on Twitter or X, you can search things by topic. On Threads, you can only search by person, by account. So it's like, I just want to search everything anyone is saying about Big Brother, and I can't do that. So, like, that
Maybe
is
I'll look
annoying.
on TikTok.
Yeah, probably a good call.
Yeah, I wanna see what's going on that is not on airing on the show.
Also, I discovered you can watch live feeds on Paramount Plus. You can't, like, watch them back, like, after dark, but you can watch them live. So.
I don't have Paramount.
Oh, I do. I'll just send you my stuff. I think it's mom and dad's. But also, since this will come out after Sunday's Big Brother episode, do you want to know who won HOH?
Yeah.
Cameron.
I was trying to think of, like, well, butter my biscuit.
That's a good one.
Good for him. I'm happier than a knee-high grasshopper.
All right, everyone. Hopefully Mary will not sound so awful next time. If she does, she's fired.
Yeah. My kids told me, you should really take some medicine. I said, I have been taking medicine. And they said, that's what you sound like with medicine?
You little shits.
I know.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Next time on The Housewife Did It, Mary will tell Katie 2 stories, the murders of Betty Jean Shade and Francine Elvison.
Follow us on all social media at Housewife Did It Pod. Housewife singular.